Chapter 15. The march of shadows of thumb of boots echoed through the pines, a war drum that set Jimmy Jax's blood on fire. At 30, he stood at the bunker's hatch, his crossbow gripped tight, the late evening of August 16th, 2025, cloaking the Jax homestead in a shroud of dread. The 100-acre haven, its fields, orchards, and stream-powered turbine, was under siege. Carter's gang a relentless tide driven by their trafficking empire. The horns taunt the circling car, and now this march were Carter's mind games. But Jimmy's hunter's instincts screamed one truth. The fight was here, and the homestead heart was on the line. Grandpa Jax was beside him, his .308 rifle raised, his Vietnam scars taut with resolve, blood still seeping from his stitched leg. Jenny clutched her knife, her botanist satchel slung tight, her green eyes fierce but steady. Sam held his machete, guarding Lila, his rescued sister, his fire now a shield for her. Below, in the bunker, Grandma Jax stood ready with her 9mm pistol, protecting Ellie, Clara, Martha, and the bound prisoner, Nate. The map and Ellie's sketch of Carter's warehouse, its sewer grate radio, and weapon stash waited on the table, a promise of tomorrow's fight if they survived the night. Boots mean numbers, Grandpa growled, his journal tucked into his belt. Carter's throwing everything, trucks, bikes, men. We use the traps, the barricades. Hold 'em in the woods. Jimmy nodded, his jaw tight. Jenny, Sam, north fence, cover the decoys. Grandpa, me, east barricade. Signal Grandma to stay locked down. We thin 'em before they reach the bunker. Jenny's hand brushed his, a fleeting anchor. We'll hold, she said, leading Sam north, Lila's shadow trailing them. Jimmy clicked the walkie. Grandma, it's Jimmy. Carter's marching in, Boots, east and north. Big force. Stay sealed. Keep Ellie and the others safe. Over. Grandma's voice crackled back, steel in her calm. Copy. Bunker's locked. Fight smart, Jimmy. Over. Jimmy and Grandpa sprinted to the east barricade, a fortress of logs and steel scarred from last night's raid. The woods were laced with traps, pits, snares, tripwires, Grandpa's Vietnam legacy. The stream's turbine hummed, a faint pulse under the boots' rhythm. Moonlight broke through clouds, revealing shadows moving 100 yards out, 20 men, maybe more, red bandanas stark, rifles and machetes gleaming. 2 trucks idle behind, their headlights off, and a motorcycle weaved, its rider scouting. Big push, Jimmy whispered, his crossbow aimed. Carter's here. Grandpa's scope locked on the motorcycle. Take the rider, blind. I'll thin the front line. Jimmy fired, his bolt striking the rider's chest, the motorcycle crashing into a tree. Grandpa's rifle cracked, dropping a bandana-wearing man. But the march didn't falter. The gang fanned out 10 east, 10 north, their boots a relentless beat. Traps sprang. Screams as 2 fell into pits, another caught in a snare, but Carter's numbers were a wave, crashing toward the barricades. Hold. Grandpa barked, firing again, wounding a man. Jimmy's bolt hit another shoulder, but bullets pinged off the barricade, one grazing his arm, blood welling. Pain flared, but he reloaded, his focus razor-sharp. The walkie crackled. North under fire. Jenny's voice was sharp. 8 men, breaching the fence. Decoys slowed him, but were pinned. Over. Jimmy's heart clenched. Jenny and Sam were outnumbered, and the bunker was too close. Grandpa, I've got to help north. Can you hold? Grandpa's eyes blazed, his rifle steady. Go. I've got this. Jimmy sprinted through the fields. The homesteads lay out his map. He reached the north fence, where Jenny and Sam fired from behind a barricade. The decoys, stuffed clothes, drawing some fire. 8 men, bandanas bright, hacked at the fence, their rifles spitting bullets. Lila crouched behind Jenny, her eyes wide but her hands clutching a rock, ready to fight. Jimmy slid into cover, firing a bolt that dropped a man. Jenny focused east side. Sam, cover west, he shouted, reloading. Jenny's knife flashed, cutting a tripwire that sprang a snare, trapping a man's leg. Sam's machete swung, grazing another, who retreated. Jimmy's next bolt hit a man's chest, but the buzz-cut leader, Carter's lieutenant, emerged, a shotgun roaring. blasting the barricade to splinters. "Fall back!" Jimmy yelled, grabbing Lila. They retreated to a secondary barricade, Jenny and Sam covering. The buzz-cut man pressed, his shotgun relentless. But Jenny tossed a flare, bunker stock, into the brush, sparking a fire that forced the gang to scatter. The walkie crackled. "East breaking." Grandpa's voice was strained. 10 men close. "Need you now." "Over." Jimmy's got twisted. "Jenny, Sam, hold here. Lila, stay low. I'm going east." He raced back. The homestead's field a blur of smoke and fire. Grandpa was pinned, his rifle empty, using a machete to fend off a man who'd climbed the barricade. Carter himself stood by a truck, bald head gleaming, his shotgun aimed but not firing, a general watching his army. Jimmy fired his crossbow, dropping the man on Grandpa, then tackled another, his knife slashing, blood spraying. "Nice timing." Grandpa grunted, grabbing his rifle, reloading with a spare clip. Carter's holding back, wants us worn down. Jimmy's arm bled, but he fired again, wounding a man. The gang's numbers were thinning. 6 east now, maybe 5 north. But Carter's presence was a blade at their throat. "We can't let him reach the bunker," Jimmy said, his voice raw. The flare's fire spread, choking the east woods, forcing Carter's men to the road. Grandpa seized a moment, tossing a second flare into a truck's open bed, where ammo crates sparked. The truck exploded, a fireball scattering the gang. 3 men down, screaming. Carter roared, retreating to the second truck, his shotgun blasting cover fire. North clear. Jenny's voice crackled. 5 down. 3 ran. "We're moving to the bunker." "Over." Jimmy exhaled, relief fleeting. "Copy." "East breaking." Carter's pulling back. "Regroup at the bunker." "Over." They fell back, Grandpa limping, Jimmy's arm burning. The homestead was scarred, barricade shattered, field smoldering, but it stood. The bunker's hatch opened, Grandma's pistol ready. Ellie and Clara helping Lila inside. Sam guarded the door, his machete bloodied. Martha tended Nate, still bound, his eyes wide with fear. We held. Jimmy said, collapsing against a crate, Jenny bandaging his arm with Yarrow. But Carter's not done. Grandpa leaned on his rifle, blood on his face. He lost men, a truck. We hurt him, but he'll hit again soon. Ellie stepped forward, her voice fierce despite her frailty. I remembered something, Carter's radio. It's not just for buyers. He's got a contact, someone big, outside Ohio. I heard him say the general runs the whole network. If you get the radio, you could track him. Jenny's knife paused, her botanist's mind racing. The general? That's bigger than Carter. The radios are key, not just to stop him, but to end this. Grandma's pistol gleamed, her voice calm. Then the warehouse raid's critical. Dawn, like planned, sewer grate, stash radio. We fortify tonight, rest, then strike. Jimmy's eyes met Ellie's, her fire a mirror of his own. For the girls, for the homestead. We end Carter's game. Grandpa's journal opened, his pen scratching. Know the enemy's master. Small team, Jimmy, Jenny, Sam, me. Grandma, Ellie, Clara, Lila. Martha hold the bunker. Nate, you're still on thin ice. Nate's voice broke. I'll help, anything. My sister's out there. As they fortified, reloading, resetting traps, a new sound broke the bunker's hum. Not boots or engines, but a single gunshot distant from the eastern road. Grandpa's rifle was up, his voice grim. Carter signaling. He's not waiting for dawn. Jimmy's crossbow gleamed. Ellie's words, the general, a spark in the dark. The homestead shadows were alive, and the fight was far from over.